well, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at how the Lions can still make the playoffs. Also, your rooting guide for this weekend. Why are we doing this? Because it's super unrealistic. Because I want to do it. And also, a lot of people are still asking me. Plus, in Daryl Bevel's words, you're saying we have a chance. As long as we have a chance, why not? This could be the last week we get to do this. So why not have some fun with it? Why not go out with a bang? We might as well have some fun. Is it realistic? No. Everybody gets that. But we might as well have some fun. So let's take a look at how the Lions can still make the playoffs by 7-9 and 8-8. Also, not only how the Lions make playoffs, who you should root for this weekend. 7-9, there may be some other ways, but from my understanding, 7-9 is not very realistic. However, 8-8, it's not super crazy to think that you could get an 8-8. Also, you need Arizona to lose out at 7-9. You need a lot of things to go right if you're going to get at 7-9. So you would need a tie here. You would need Arizona to lose out. We'll run through a 7-9 scenario. Arizona would have to lose out, which 2 of the last 3 they could. And obviously, you know, you would have to win all but one of your games. So you would lose to Tennessee, and then let's say you'd beat your last 2 opponents, which are NFC teams, so that would help you out a little bit there. So you beat your last 2 opponents, then you got Chicago at 7-8-1, and you need Chicago to lose a game to a team like the Jaguars, and then you get in at 7-9. Crazy, doesn't seem super realistic, but that's how it would happen. Because if Minnesota beat Chicago, then San Francisco gets in above you. San Francisco, if they lost to a team like Dallas, now you're behind Arizona. The reason you're behind San Francisco and Arizona is because Minnesota's ahead of you at 7-9 now. And that's why, because they won that divisional game. So 7-9 is not super realistic unless you get a tie. That's basically my understanding. Now, 8-8, how can it happen? It's not a crazy other question. First off, Arizona. Root against Arizona every single week from here on out. Root against them. They need to lose 2 of their last 3. This week, I don't see it happening. However, Philadelphia did just beat the Saints with Jalen Hurts. All right, so anything is possible. Now, they didn't have Drew Brees, but they're still a heck of a team without Brees. Anything is possible, but I think they'll win this week. Of course, 8-8 would mean that we would have to win every single one of our games. Now, if we tied, it might change things up a little bit, but we'd have to win all of our games. That gets us to 8-8. And you would need Arizona to lose 2 of their last 3. So I have them winning this weekend over Philadelphia. But if they lost to a team like San Fran, which is also trying to get their random hopes into the playoffs, and then, you know, they lose their last game of the season, which would be possible to the Rams, who are expected to win that game, now you're in at 8-8. You're in at 8-8 in this scenario. And there's a pretty good amount of scenarios how this could happen, but it really does start with this weekend in this matchup. Minnesota beats Chicago. We must root for Minnesota to beat Chicago. Okay? It may sound weird. You're probably like, why? Root for Minnesota to beat Chicago. Because if Chicago beats Minnesota, Chicago gets in above us. So we need Minnesota to beat Chicago to get at 8-8. Now, what if it goes wrong? What if Chicago beats Minnesota? Oh, no, we're out of it? Close, but no, we're not technically out of it. We would then need Chicago to blow a game like the Jags game. So with that being unlikely, we need a team. So let's say Chicago wins. With that being unlikely, we need to root for Minnesota this weekend because we still get to play the Minnesota Vikings. So we need Minnesota to root this weekend. The best scenario for us this weekend is we win, Arizona loses, Minnesota beats Chicago, or they tie. That'd actually be the best scenario if they tied. But the likely scenario, they beat Chicago. And now we're sitting in a spot where it's not completely all hope lost. Actually, you're not in a terrible spot if that all plays out right. There's also another team that you could root against, and you could root against them the way out, because if they lose out, which is extremely unlikely, you could pass them for a spot because you play them. That is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So right now they're 8-5, right? You're thinking you can't catch them. Well, you play Tampa Bay. And if you beat Tampa Bay, you'd have the tiebreaker. And they play Atlanta twice. So if they lost out and you won out, you'd jump Tampa Bay and you could get to the 6th seed potentially. It's kind of nuts, but that's another little thing. And there's tons of these scenarios. So I'm not mentioning them all in today's video. I was trying to stay with the most realistic one. But there's a lot of these. And I'm sure you guys know a lot that I don't necessarily know where I found. But if you play around with this, the NFL playoff machine, you'll find a lot. But that's another one. Also, maybe if you root for the Packers to potentially lose a game. Obviously, you always do that. But if they do that, then they won't feel super confident with the first seed in the NFC. So they'll keep playing because you need the Green Bay Packers to beat the Chicago Bears on the last week of the season. Otherwise, Chicago will have to lose to a team like the Jaguars. So if Green Bay can slip up one of these next couple weeks, maybe that'll put a little bit more pressure on them to not rest starters that they need to make sure they win that last week of the season. Let's clear it one more time really quickly, and let's just run through that scenario. So let's say okay, Minnesota beats Chicago, we beat Titans, Arizona loses to Philadelphia, and now we're sitting in a spot where you can see we're 6-8. We're behind Minnesota still, but you're only a game back and you get to play Minnesota. right? You're only a game back. You get to play Minnesota. You beat Minnesota. Now you just need Arizona to lose one of the last two, either to San Fran or to the Rams, two teams that could potentially be fighting to get in the playoffs. They lose to the Rams, which are expected to, you know, and then you can get into the playoffs. So that's what the Lions really need to root for. If you're a Lions fan this weekend, root for us to win. Root for Arizona to lose every game out. Don't worry about the other team. Just root for them to lose out. Root for Minnesota to beat Chicago this weekend, because if they don't, Chicago needs to lose to the Jags. But root for the Jags next weekend. Pretty simple, though. We'll just make it simple for this week. You guys saw the scenario, so here's how it's got to happen. Root for us. Root for the Minnesota Vikings, root for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that gives us a solid chance to get in. And then maybe root for Dallas to beat San Francisco. But actually, you might want to root for San Francisco to beat Dallas. Reason being is because that makes San Francisco feel like they're still alive in the playoff race, and it'd be more likely that San Francisco can knock off a team like the Arizona Cardinals. You know, so that'd be kind of how you want to do things. So that's what you really need, and I think that would still get you in, right? I think if San Francisco wins 2 of their last 3. Actually, let's set this criteria real quickly. I think if San Francisco would win 2 of their last 3, who's their last game? Yeah, Seattle. That would put San Francisco at 7-9, so you get above them at 8-8. So, yeah, then you could win. You know, you win out, of course. You'd have to win out. And that would put you into the playoffs. So 8-8 is not impossible. You really just need, you know, that's your winning guide for this weekend, as you guys can see. I'll keep this video short and sweet. 7-9 is technically possible. You just kind of need a tie. So, yeah, if they tie, awesome. I mean, usually don't root for ties, but you can root for a tie this weekend, no question. Just root against Arizona from here on out. Root for Minnesota to beat Chicago. That'll be our best bet, because it's not likely that Chicago's going to lose to a team like the Jags, because Chicago plays the Packers last, and you want the Packers to not be, you know, resting starters. So you want those other teams to stay on their heels. All right, so there you go. And yeah, so if a team like Green Bay, you know, slipped up to a team like Carolina, that'd be awesome. Reason being is because they're like, okay, we're not locked into the first seed. Or if they lose to a team like Tennessee, now they're worried about other teams. So you want the Packers to slip up like usual. But that's how you get in, man. That's the rooting guide for this week. If you're confused, let me know in your comment section below. I can try to answer the best of my ability. But we're not done. It's just we got to handle our business, and we need some help, you know. But hey, 8-8, that's kind of what you come to expect. Getting in the playoffs 8-8, you're going to need some help. But it's honestly not super unrealistic. So that's your rooting guide. Go Philly, go Minnesota, go Lions, and let's see if we can, you know, make it happen. Let's see if we can make history, you know. All right, let me know your thoughts, comments below. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the skit. I don't know if you're seeing this or first or after, but either way, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys this weekend, and I'm out. Are you kidding me right now? I had to put my helmet on for this one. Are you kidding? Look at this. Look at all these members. What? Yo, hey, shout out to all the members, man. Look how many All-Pro members there are. Like, literally, it's the whole screen, dog. This is crazy. The patrons, of course, the Hall of Fame members, man. Y'all got the gold color. It's kind of yellow, but it's supposed to be gold. Shout out to all the members, man. If you want to be a part of this, all you got to do is join the channel. But there are perks that come with it. Stay locked in the community tab if you are a member, because that's where a lot of information comes out. I appreciate all of you. What?